We got a north wind blowing today, so we're gonna look for more sheltered type banks, which basically if it's coming out north, we're gonna start looking maybe towards some of these banks that actually will be on the north side, which will be sheltered. So as we're looking around for fish, more fishing on this side, be the north side, just to try to stay out of the wind a little bit and be able to fish a little easier, because this time of year you kind of have to do a slow presentation, and if it gets real windy, it gets really tough to fish when you got to fish slow. So we're going to try to maximize our fishing time by fishing in the proper places. Let's go catch some fish. Our water temperature is about 42, 43 degrees here, and it's to a point where you got to slow your bait down, but you don't have to get it down to a crawl. They'll still come after it, so you just give it a little action. And then there'll be a time whenever they want it just almost dead still. So I'm just going to move around here a little bit and kind of keep looking in the same direction, because I could see that was a log that was pretty long. There he's following it. See him there? Here he comes. There's a fish. We got one out there. Pretty nice bass. There we go. Look how chunky that thing is. I mean, it's got a stomach on it. Pretty meaty little rascal. I don't know if he's quite a keeper, but he's up there 14 and a half, 15. Good fish though. Check him out. I'm gonna put my stocking cap on and put some gloves on before I get too cold here. Basically, I'm just gonna go across here looking. I mean, there's just sporadic things all through here. Wintertime fishing, you know, a lot of times the fish been in shallow water, and we've got a cold front going through right now. And so if there was fish back in the shallow water, a lot of times they'll come out and relate to like a channel swing bank or something that's got some deeper water in it. It's just they look for security. And it's deeper water, the water's not gonna get as cold as fast. The first place I start looking for fish is gonna be down a bank like this. This is a bank that's just got a pretty steep 45 bank, and we're just gonna go down it and see if we can't pull one out of here. Here we go. Got one on. Another good chunky one. That's about the third cast on this channel swing bank, so this is probably going to be our pattern for today when I get a pair of pliers. Okay. Fun fish to catch. So fun to catch them on a jerkbait too. Just kind of paralleling this bank the best I can, you know, with the wind direction we got. I went ahead and spot locked with the Minn Kota and just kind of holding position here just in case there happened to be a school of fish right in that vicinity. That fish probably bit in 3 foot of water. It wasn't very deep. Missed him. Had a bite right there. There he come back. Oh, those are pretty fish. These winter fish are really pretty fish. Another nice fish. Here we go. Going after another one. When you put braided line on and do the, just tie a fluorocarbon line on, I think I've got a pretty heavy fluorocarbon on this because I was power fishing with it here lately, just trying to really get through some big stuff. And so what it boils down to is, you know, that fluorocarbon, they can already see it. But the operation of using this with, especially in the wind, you can cast a spinning rod and you don't really have to worry about casting in the wind and getting a lot of backlashes. But with that braid, anytime you get a strike, you feel it. There's a strike. I saw my line moving. I really didn't know for sure if it was a crappie or a bass. Oh, he come on. There's a bass. But it's kind of a deadly combination for the right scenario. I like to throw bait casters a lot when I'm throwing a jerkbait, but I'm also chasing crappie with these smaller jerkbaits. This is a 80 size, and I've caught everything on them. So it's kind of more match the hatch style bait for me. The crappie will hit a smaller jerkbait, and they'll hit a big one too. But they'll hit a smaller jerkbait, and there's times when they'll hit the big one too. Oh yeah, a white bass. Yep. He'll catch the whites and hybrids, crappie, a little bit of everything on them. And this one here is all hooked up, so I'm gonna have to dig him out. Most of the rods that I've got are in the 7-foot range, throwing a jerkbait, and I've got one that's a 6'6", 6'7", and you know, I'm not a tall person, so sometimes whenever I get too long of a rod and I'm trying to do the old jerkbait trick with him, I slap the boat or slap the water a little bit with it, so I shorten up. But I think in popularity, most people that throw jerkbait throws a 6'6" to 7-footers. There's another one. They on this bank. Pretty decent fish here. Look there. He got the right. Look at the shad that he just spit out. Now that's just a little bigger than the bait I'm throwing. So sometimes that tells you what they're eating. Like in this case, it was really close. That's a chunky monkey there. Keeper. Look how fat they are. These winter fish, they really fatten up good. And they're beautiful fish. I can see some fish right out in front of us here, kind of pretty close to that log. So we're going to set up on here on these and see if we'll make several casts here and see if we can get something to fire up here. Well, this time of year, you know, we're talking the water temperature is 43 degrees, and fish, they're cold-blooded creatures, so their activity level is not near as aggressive. So why jerkbait works so well is because the fact that, you know, you give it a little wiggle. Oh, here we go. Sometimes you stop it. Oh, this is a pretty good fish here. Nice one. Yeah, that's a good one. Look how pretty that fish is. Oh, yeah, that's a beautiful fish. They're healthy. They got lots to eat. I'm gonna have to lip this one. Get a little bigger. Maybe. I didn't bring my dip net. That's a nice fish. I'd call that one a tournament fish there. It's about a 4-pounder. Check its belly out. Well, that pretty much goes to show you how good a jerkbait is. This time of year, we've caught probably almost half a dozen fish already in just a short time, and they're getting a little bigger. Hopefully we catch one bigger than that, but I'm happy to catch fish like that any day. My jerkbaits are, you know, from the size that we've been using and stuff, is probably, come on, Bubby. There he goes. But this is the 80 size, and I throw a lot of 110s, and I got a different color assortment, you know, anywhere from mega bass to spro type crank jerkbaits. This bait right here is a spro, and I probably should be throwing it a little bit just to see, you know, this is the time of day that they'll eat on that particular color bait. So just started down this bank and we caught half a dozen fish. But anytime you're catching fish, you probably don't want to change up just yet. And so I'm pretty happy with what I've been throwing. And if it comes to a point where we want to test some other colors, I will. But right now, I'm going to have a hard time putting that one down. So we're going after him again. The good thing about live technology like this Mega Live is it really, you can see there's some fish out here moving around a little bit. You can go ahead, you kind of check, oh, there's some fish there's fish kind of scattered around us right here. And so as I rotate it, you can see how the bank comes up. I've got it set out there at 50 some feet, so it's picking up the bank really close to us. And so I'm going to rotate it out and kind of more or less parallel the bank. And once I get to a point where I'm just paralleling the bank, yeah, see, I'm seeing a few fish out here moving, so we're going to make a cast more of a parallel to the bank. I'm going to say ballparking, we're in 6 foot of water where I'm sitting right now, but it's a steep bank, so out just 20 feet, it's probably 15 foot. So as a crow flies, it's angling out in the channel just a little bit. So I'm going to go out a little farther. Made a long, long cast. There's fish. There. Another pretty fish. Oh, he's stuck pretty good in that bottle. Got it. They're biting pretty good today.